All right, Jesse here with Good Shepherd Defense. Tonight, we're just going to take an opportunity real quick to go over a couple of small or individual first aid kit options, a little bit of a larger one, and actually fairly scaled down version. We had a lot of questions that have come in. We did the Facebook Live video tonight, questions with your local EMS. So as a follow-up to that, we're trying to get a little bit of information out to you on some kitting options. So before I kick off, I have no financial disclosures. I don't sell medical equipment for any specific vendor. What I'm going to talk about and go over with you tonight is just with my pretty much 20 years of EMS experience, what I feel is going to work best and what I carry and what I utilize as far as stocking out my vehicle kit, my range kit, things like that. So I'm going to start off with, this is what I keep carabiner clipped to the passenger side headrest of my personal vehicle. A lot of people will hop in my truck and be like, what's that for? And be like, well, if I were to get in a vehicle accident, something were to happen, I couldn't get out, I needed to take care of myself before rescue workers arrived to actually answer the call for me. I know where that's going to be. Is there still a chance it could disappear? Absolutely, but less likely than if you just had it sitting in your center console or some plies or in your door card or something like that. So as we open this up, it's fairly geared towards just OSTRI care. Okay, again, when we talk about major trauma and the things that we can do in the out-of-hospital setting to truly make a difference, it's going to be hemorrhage control. So I personally keep 2 tourniquets, which is a CAT Gen 7 and a Soft T Wide. One comes from TACMed Solutions, the other one comes from North American Rescue. The reason I keep 2 tourniquets is if you come to one of our classes, you'll learn that sometimes the lower extremities will require 2 tourniquets to effectively stop the bleeding. So one is great if we slow it down, we're starting to win, but we want to make sure that if possible, we've got 2 available in case the application of a second one becomes necessary. Next up in here, I've got an Olace bandage. This comes from TACMed Solutions. So I like to call it the Swiss Army knife of bandages. It has some material inside there that you can pull out to actually start to pack a wound or fill that void space if you need to. If it's not applicable for a tourniquet or it's not in an area that you can get one applied to. Orange tape specifically on this Olace, the way I've got it set up in my car kit. Fine motor skills under stressful situations we know are either diminished or completely trashed. They're gone, right? So this is obviously, this is a visual cue and it's something for my hands to go to. So this particular one has a couple different pre-start cuts throughout the packaging that obviously will help you or aid you in getting it open. What this does is, again, it's as a visual key or cue point so that I know where I'm going, and then it's something else for my hands to get a hold of because, again, that dexterity and those fine motor skills are gone. So as I get to that, I find those, and it's a lot easier to get open than if my hands are slimy or covered in blood and I'm trying to find one of those small little pre-cut areas and then try to get my hands on that to where I'm actually going to get the friction to be able to get that packaging opened up. Chest seals. Simple reason is something were to be, penetrating trauma when in the box that we'll talk about. We want to make sure that we've got something that can cover that up. Do you have to have commercial chest seals? Absolutely not. The wrapper from that bandage, any type of plastic that's not going to allow air to pass through can be used as a chest seal. I personally have invested to have a couple commercial ones available to me in my vehicle. And then a piece of additional roller gauze for additional wound packing. You'll notice that it's not quick clot. It's not any type of hemostatic agent. Those of you that have come to the courses understand why, that I'm not on prescribed blood thinner, so it's not of significant enough benefit for me to put those dollars out. So that's a real basic down and dirty, what could I do to make my situation better if I were stuck in my truck? So again, clipped onto my passenger side headrest post so I know where it's at. Pretty much same contents. This is ankle rig, so maybe you're in church, maybe you work security and you wear a suit, something like that, where you want to keep some stuff available to your person. You're out shopping with the family and you got jeans on and you don't have a bunch of real estate available to start packing some med supplies on. This is always a good option if you've got some pants on to help keep some medical supplies on your person so that you can aid for yourself, loved ones, or anybody else in the area that may have been injured. So this one, obviously due to size and real estate availability, I've only got 1 tourniquet. I chose to go with the CAT in this particular setup because I know that for me, it's faster for self-application to an upper extremity. Also have a couple of the chest seals, so same thing, that are packed in here. Again, do you have to have commercial chest seals? Absolutely not. I've chosen to spend those dollars. I know you're probably going to say he didn't have quick clot in his other one. I have quick clot in this one because I know that I have very little space and this is the only piece of gauze that I have. My Olaus bandage doesn't fit in here. So as we talk about different kit sizes and build outs and how we're doing that, you've got to think about what do you have available to you, how much space, what can you put in there. If I could fit this Olaus bandage and wear it comfortably in there, or a roller bandage and an ace bandage in there, would I do that? Absolutely. For this particular application, I've got a Z folded quick clot hemostatic enhanced gauze that I put in there in case I need to do some wound packing on myself. Okay, so those are two real quick down and dirty options. Two different differences with the tourniquets. This one, again, Cat Gen 7, a lot easier and faster for self-application to an upper extremity. The reason for that is the Velcro isn't as challenging to kind of keep in place, and just the way it's built out. If you're putting it on your arm, if you're putting it on your leg, you've got both your hands available. Either one of these works great. One of the things that I do particularly like about the Soft T is that it easily comes apart and goes back together. Where this one, in order to take it apart, so let's say that situation where I am stuck in my truck. I've been struck by somebody and I'm pinned in there. Let's say I have an open femur or my upper leg is fractured and I'm painting the windshield. So I have arterial spray coming out of my leg. In order to get this tourniquet on my own leg, I need to take it apart, get it underneath, and then with my hands covered in blood, under stress, I need to be able to get it fed back through this buckle to be able to get that pulled tight before we start to put that windlass in service. Again, my personal preference, I like the Soft T for that application because I can take it apart, put it on, get it worked into place, and just clip it back in. Okay, so again, not that necessarily one's better than the other. There's pros and cons to any piece of equipment, whether we're talking about medical, CCW stuff, whatever it is. Everything's got its pros and cons. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this tonight. Again, we're going to be offering some classes. You can get some more information. Any questions, feel free to hit us up, and we look forward to seeing you in training soon.